Hey y'all, welcome back. I wanted to talk a little bit about morning pages, which is a practice that I have returned to in the last few weeks, and I want to share that with you. So if that sounds interesting, continue watching. For those of you who are joining me for the first time, I'm Krista David, artist, and let's just leave it at that. I'm an artist. And I've been using a variety of tools to help me in my creative, artistic life journey over the past several years, especially since quitting my day job to pursue art. So in 2016 in September, actually it was in the summer, August, I gave my notice and I left my day job, my comfy, cushy, six-figure salary day job in New York City, and I was beyond burnt out. And as I was reflecting recently back on how I arrived at this decision to quit my day job, there were a number of things that helped me along the way to kind of muster up the courage to listen to what my soul was telling me. I should preface all of this by saying I am not telling you to quit your day job. I'm just telling you what my experience has been with quitting things like jobs. So I started the practice of morning pages, I want to say right before, was it right before I quit my job? I want to say it was right before I quit my job. And I don't know how this book came into my life. This is called The Artist's Way by Julia Cameron. And this woman, Julia Cameron, is the woman who created the morning pages, or at least this is the reference that I have of morning pages as a practice. And I don't know how I got this book. I don't know if I got it from a thrift store. I don't know if a friend gave it to me. I do not remember at all. But I do remember starting the practice of morning pages. And I do remember noticing patterns. And like I mentioned, it was just one of the tools that helped me realize that at that time, I needed a season of just pursuing my art and making art, and I needed to disconnect from my job, which was quite toxic, and just sort of regroup. So I started the practice of morning pages, and simply put, I'm going to read Julia's description of what morning pages are, and then I'll give you a couple of the tips that I think will be helpful if you would like to start your own morning pages practice. So in The Artist's Way, this book is mainly about, and she says it like right in the early pages of the book, this is a book about creative recovery. So it's written for artists of all kinds who, when you're an artist, or just when you're trying to make anything in the world, there's just a lot of criticism that comes. Some of it is external, most of it is internal. And when you're trying to make something, which I think is really interesting when you think about the creation story in the book of Genesis, and God is like creating the earth in 7 days, and after each day he's creating something, and he's like, and it is good. That should be the model, right, for any creator. But normally we make something and then we look at it and we're like, okay, that is absolutely not good. And it may be true that that's the case, but our overwhelming tendency is to look at the things that we create and decide that they are not good. So in this book, Julia provides tools for us to deal with that and to get to the other side of it. And one of the tools is the morning pages. So she writes, what are morning pages? Put simply, the morning pages are 3 pages of longhand writing, strictly stream of conscious. Quote, oh God, another morning. I have nothing to say. I need to wash the curtains. Did I get my laundry yesterday? Blah, blah, blah. They might also, more ingloriously, be called brain drain, since that is one of their main functions. There's no wrong way to do morning pages. These daily meanderings are not meant to be art or even writing. I stress that point to reassure the non-writers working with this book. Writing is simply one of the tools. Pages are meant to be simply the act of moving the hand across the page and writing down whatever comes to mind. Nothing is too petty, too silly, too stupid, or too weird to be included. Okay, she goes on to say that the morning pages, it's not about finding the perfect words or the perfect turn of phrase or anything like that. It really is just whatever is top of mind first thing in the morning for you. And there are only really 2 requirements for the morning pages. Actually, she doesn't call these requirements, but this is what I surmise from reading the book. The name, the instruction is in the name. They're morning pages. So I've seen a couple videos where people are suggesting that you can write the pages at night, you can write the pages in the middle of the day, you can write the pages while you're going on a hike, you can write the pages, I don't know, while you're sitting in a car at school pickup. That is not morning pages. That is journaling, which is different from morning pages. I think the time of day doesn't matter if you're doing the pages immediately as you wake up from your sleep. So if you are the type of person who works in the daytime, so you sleep at night and you wake up 6 a.m., you do your morning pages at 6 a.m. But if you're the person who's like, no, I work from 3 p.m. to 10 and I sleep until, I don't know, noon, then you write your morning pages when you wake up at noon. I think it's important to write the pages as soon as you wake up in the morning, or whatever your morning is. This is not something that you can, I don't think it works best if you're up and you've done a few things already in the morning, including scroll Instagram, and then you decide to sit down and be like, I'm gonna write my morning pages. It does not work that way. The magic is gone. Too many things have gotten in the way of what is happening to you physiologically right when you wake up, and all the things you did in between that and getting to your morning pages. So it's best to do it first thing, like your eyes open. The way that I do it is my morning page notebook is right beside my bed. My pen is there. As soon as I wake up, barring me having to go to the bathroom and I cannot hold my bladder, I literally grab my book, I sit up in bed, turn on the lamp, and I start writing for 3 pages. And it usually takes anywhere from 15 to 20 minutes to just write stream of consciousness. Close the book, put the book back down, and then I go about my morning. So I think with morning pages, it needs to be done immediately upon waking from your longest sort of sleeping period. That's 1. 2, it has to be done on paper with a pen or a pencil or any kind of writing instrument. This is not one of these practices where you can phone it in or type it in, or it needs to be written down, pen and paper. One could argue that you could use your iPad or tablet and you're writing it down, but I think that may be okay, but it can't be typing. It's just something about hand across the page writing that is important. So I think it's always good to adhere to a practice as it is stated by the creator of the practice. And after you do it for a while, then you make whatever adjustments you think are best for your life. But I think it's good to kind of stick to what the practice says. So journaling is something else. Morning pages is a specific sort of tool. So recently, I started my morning pages, I want to say in 2016, and I did it for a couple years and then I stopped. Other practices sort of took precedence. And I was doing my morning pages practice right alongside my gratitude practice. I think what ended up happening was I adopted also a meditation practice in 2016, and that started to take precedence over the morning pages practice. Speaking of meditation, I also after you've tried morning pages exactly how Julia Cameron describes in The Artist's Way, you can make adjustments. So for example, I think it is okay to do 3 pages of stream of consciousness after you come out of a deep meditation, like 20 minutes or more, because basically your brain was like asleep. And especially if you are sort of, advanced in your practice, you can get into a very deep meditative state and you come out of meditation after 20, 30 minutes and it's like you were asleep for hours. So I think you can try the morning pages after a deep meditation. But if you're starting out with the practice of morning pages, I think just starting it exactly how Julia describes in The Artist's Way is the best. So I started back in 2016. After a couple years, I fell off. And then recently, I can't explain to you, and I think I mentioned this in one of my other videos, I can't explain to you, but I had this urge, and I try to listen to what my spirit is saying to me as much as I can. This is why meditation is so important. You just become so sensitive to yourself and the things that are going on inside of you. So I felt this urge and I just like, all right. And it was like nagging me for a few days. And I was like, all right, I'm going to go to the dollar store and get some notebooks so I can start my morning page practice. Now, as far as tools that you need, you just need a notebook or some loose leaf paper and a writing instrument. Now, some people will use nice notebooks like this. Like this is an MD notebook. The paper is glorious. I mean, if that's what you need, go for it. Some people will use loose leaf notebook paper or copy paper. I can't explain to you why I do this. I love paper and I love really nice paper, but when it comes to my morning pages, I have to just use a dollar store notebook. Like I can't explain it to you. Except that I think what is happening is, one, this is how I oriented myself to the practice. I was using dollar store notebooks back in 2016. 2, another thing that's important with the practice, your morning pages aren't really there for you to reread. This is not like for you to reread and like reflect on. Again, that's journaling. Morning pages is getting all of the stuff out of your brain. It's like a daily shower for your soul. It's just getting it all out and you leave it alone. It's gone. You let it go. So me using a notebook like this, and I'm pretty sure I still have my morning pages in like a big old bin or something. Honestly, I could take all of those notebooks and I can just burn them, throw them in the trash. I have no attachment to what is in here. It's not like my journals. It's not like the journal that I journal in every day, or the piles of journals that I've kept over the years. I will go back and read some of those sometime. These morning pages, listen, I don't know what's in here. Don't ask me what's in here. I have no idea what is in here. It honestly doesn't even concern me, because the magic of the practice is that our souls are so sensitive and so wise that even if all of the important stuff that may be lodged in all of these words somewhere, because I'm in the practice every day, patterns are going to start to emerge and bubble up to the top. And I'm going to remember that. I can't remember what I wrote 5 days ago. I can't remember what I wrote 2 days ago. But I can tell you that one of the things that I feel like keeps coming up in these pages are a couple of things. One, I have these really strict boundaries around work, and I've been eroding my boundaries with my clients, and it's bothering me. I know that that's something that's somewhere in here. I know it is, because I go to sleep thinking about it. I wake up thinking about it. So I know it's in here, and I know it probably is in here more than one time. I know that I was in meditation a couple months ago, and I kept feeling like I was saying, you need to lean into your art practice more. And I was like, I don't know what that means. I know that I've been bringing this up in my morning pages. I've been bringing it up in my journal as well. So I don't need to go back and read this, because I'm so sensitive to the patterns. And I think the practice of doing the morning pages will heighten your sensitivity to the patterns that are going on. If you know that you are a person who complains a lot, what's going to happen is you're going to notice that you're going to be showing up to your morning pages every day complaining about your partner, your kids, the boss, the weather, and you're going to start to be like, come day 7, girl, I need to get a new tune because I complain a lot. I feel like I get to these pages, I'm complaining, and you're gonna have that revelation over time. That's the magic of the practice. But you don't need to go back and read, what was I complaining about? No, the point is you have a pattern of complaining. And the one thing that Julia says that I love about the morning pages here, she says, morning pages map our own interior. Without them, our dreams may remain terra incognita. So basically, all of the interior stuff happening is going to come out in the pages. You just got to give it time, though. This can't be one of those things that you start for a week and you expect magic. And no, commit to it for a while. Commit to it for 90 days, 120 days, a year. And you will see that you'll see the patterns in the things that are keeping you where you are and keeping you from where you want to be. So that's the beauty of the practice. Now, for me, I use these sheepy notebooks. They're $1. I just bought, I don't care, I like them because I can do this when I'm in bed, boop, 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 I like this sheet paper because it takes all kinds of pens. I use my gel pens. I use my fountain pens. This is why you see so many colors, because I'm using different fountain pens. And the writing is not legible at all. Another thing that has come up in my morning page, I just saw the word stickers when I was flipping just now. I realized that I have a serious love affair with stationery. I mean, obviously, right? Obviously. And I'm curious about that. Now, I don't need to go back through my morning pages looking for like, what ideas do you have for No, I can take that pattern, my love for stationery, which has been enduring, and I can take it to my journals and start to daydream about, well, what could that be? Do I want to start a stationery line? Do I want to have a little shop and sell stationery? Do I want to make my own stationery? I don't know. I just know I love it. I love stickers. I love stickers. What was I saying? Oh yeah, that's the magic of the practice. You have to give it some time, and then slowly you will start to unearth the things that are going on inside of you. So that is why I love the practice, and I just want to make sure that I'm not forgetting anything else I wanted to share. Oh, so yeah, I picked back up the practice because I felt like it was one of those things that was urging me. And I don't know where it's going to lead. It's only been a few weeks. I don't know where it's going to lead. But I like to be obedient because I'm out here living on faith. Just generally, once I decided to quit my job in 2016, I made the decision that I was just going to follow where God was leading me. And that's a faith walk. So if I'm not going to pay attention to these urgings, these soul urgings, then what am I doing? I'm not trying to get lost. So I got the books. I started the pages. I went to New York 2 weeks ago, and I did not take my morning pages with me. And instead of just finding paper to do the pages, I was like, okay, you have to be here for 5 days. You're not going to be able to do the pages. You got to focus on X, Y, and Z. When I tell you I was having withdrawal symptoms, it was just crazy. It was sort of like, this practice will hook you in and you will find yourself craving that time to just sort of unload in the morning. So as I prepare for my travels this week, I will be taking my morning pages. I will be doing them no matter what. This is a priority, so I'm not going to let anything get in the way of it. And sometimes you have to like set your alarm a little earlier so you can get up and do it. You may have to find a quiet place in your house so that you can do your morning pages uninterrupted. And I know this is easier for some. Like, I live with my dog. He does not bother me in the morning. Even if he does, I open the door, he comes on the bed, I do my morning page. Like, it's not a bother. Some of you have children and partners, so you have to kind of figure out how to negotiate that. But I think it's worth figuring out how to negotiate that so that you can get from here to there, wherever your here is and wherever your there is. The practice is quite magical in that it really will clear up the muck in your mind and just help you find solutions to some of the persistent problems that you may be having, and find revelation in some of the persistent patterns that you've been exhibiting in your life. I know it has for me, and I can't wait to see what comes of my morning pages or what decisions I'm, going to be making. And yeah, so we'll see. So all you need is a notebook, any kind of notebook. It can be a cheapy notebook or a fancy notebook. And you just need a pen or a crayon or a marker or whatever you like to write with. And you just need to give yourself 15-20 minutes first thing in the morning. And I would love to hear about if you've used the practice of morning pages and what has opened up for you. If you have any tips on doing the morning pages, share all of that in the comments so that we can all sort of learn and be encouraged by each other's practices and experience with morning pages. And I know I rambled. Woe is me. But if anything I said was helpful, do consider supporting the channel by liking the video, sharing it, commenting, subscribing, all the things. I am trying to grow my little channel so that I can continue to share the practices that have helped me create what I know to be as my beautiful life. And I want to be able to share more of those practices with you. The morning pages is just one of the many tools that I use. Meditation is another. Gratitude list is another. I mean, it's so many practices that I've used to help me carve out this life of flexibility and freedom and abundance. And I want to be able to share that more with you. So help a sister out and do all the liking, subscribing, and stuff. And if you have any questions about morning pages, about the Artist's Way, feel free to ask me, and I'm happy to share more. Until next time, friends, please be safe, take care of yourself, and thank you so much for tuning in. Okay? Bye.